Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. This is our take. We are your hosts. I'm Ocean.
I'm Taylor.
We got our trailer reaction for you, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to give you guys our reaction to the newly released trailer, Guy Ritchie's The Covenant, starring Jake Gyllenhaal, Dar Salim. This is produced by Metro Golden Mare. Is there anybody else in the cast list that we should be aware of, Taylor?
Not that I can confirm.
Okay. All right. So this trailer just came out, had to have been this week, because the first time I saw it was at the movie theaters yesterday, right? We went to see Knock at the Cabin, which if you guys haven't watched our video on that yet, go check that out. It was released on Monday. But that was the first time I saw it. I hadn't seen it up until then. I didn't even know about this movie or anything.
Me too.
But it caught my eye, and not just because it's a military movie and war and whatnot, but the story that it tells is something a little bit different. Right? It kind of, at least the gist that I get from the trailer is that it's centered around this interpreter that works for the U.S. Army that saves Jake Gyllenhaal's character's life, basically. And I don't know, it's kind of, they do a good job of kind of giving you the gist of it, but also there's some mystery involved. This interpreter is he's a badass. Because the interpreters that I'm familiar with are usually, I'm not trying to say they're, babies or anything, but they usually don't really know how to handle themselves in a war zone. They're really only there to talk,
I would say most of them.
But this guy throws it down, man. Yeah. So what did you think about the trailer, too?
I mean, I agree. I don't want it to seem like, just because it's a war movie, that's actually why we're attracted to it. Obviously that to a certain extent, sure. It caught my eye
right
as soon as I saw Jake Gyllenhaal in multicam. But I'm really curious about this story because I have actually served with a few interpreters that I've gone through training, and like I said, I would agree that most of them are generally we'll say fragile. And there's nothing wrong with it. But the fact that this story is going to be kind of an eye opener on what these people do for us,
right?
Or at least, at times it's kind of big. They probably get, overlooked a lot of the time,
for sure,
and underappreciated. But I can tell you that, I understand how, just from, trying to see from their perspective, how dangerous it is for them to be working for us. And sure, they get money and stuff, and we might offer some level of protection, but it's never enough.
No.
And some of these guys go through some pretty insane stuff that even just us soldiers wouldn't really want to be in.
Right.
And oftentimes they're unarmed.
Yeah.
Because they're just interpreters, and we're not really
legally
allowed to give them arms. So this story looks super compelling to me. I don't know if it's based off of anything.
I don't know either.
I wouldn't be surprised if it is. And there is one particular person I have in mind when I first saw this that reminded me of him, because he was an interpreter. He ended up gaining citizenship in the United States while serving.
That's awesome.
Which I knew a decent amount of people that did that. Some from Africa. And a bunch of them from the Middle East were gaining citizenship for service.
Yep.
And
very common thing.
He actually spent many years serving with the U.S. Army and helping them while they were overseas. And he was actually probably more like this guy. He was actually pretty big. He looked like he actually could handle himself. And he was, super funny, great to get along with and stuff. So I liked it.
Oh, that's cool. This story seems really interesting to me. It has a lot of components to it that intrigue me. Jake Gyllenhaal's character is going to go against the military because the military is not willing to go back in and save the interpreter, so he's going to go in and on his own. And I'm guessing that's what the whole idea behind the title of The Covenant is. Uh, where do I know Guy Ritchie's name from? Why do I know
He's
that name?
done he's done things like Sherlock Holmes and a few other films, at least that I can think of. But
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm curious to know if this is based off of a true story or loosely
yeah,
based off of it. But
there's certain aspects to it which will probably be a little bit of a stretch. Like
yeah,
from what I noticed from the trailer, like clearly Jake Gyllenhaal's character,
some kind
he's a
of
JTAC,
yeah,
is what he had on his identifiers. So that's cool. But doing stuff on your own,
yeah,
like
no,
that's a little bit of much.
yeah,
If you had a team with you, makes a little bit more sense. But
yeah. I'm actually. I think one of the most interesting things about this movie is that now that we are officially out of Afghanistan, right? We pulled out last year. Now that we're officially out of there and it's back under Taliban control, and this movie the Taliban is blatantly the bad guy in this movie, right? Um, it'll be interesting to see how this movie is received by the general public. To me, because to me it doesn't make any difference.
yeah,
But I'm interested to see how this movie will be received by people out there that I don't know. All they see is the mass headlines from all these different things and whatnot. Because this is, I mean, at least to my knowledge, this is the first like major blockbuster movie that revolves around the war in the Middle East since we pulled out of
yeah,
Afghanistan.
probably.
So,
Yeah.
do you think there's any like? I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be received well. Like people are going to want to go watch it because they're like, yeah, f the Taliban, like they're back in power and whatnot. Or
Yeah.
like, do you think that maybe people are going to be like, man, like I thought we were done with this. Like, why are we still talking about these things and whatnot?
I'm not sure. Just because it's a little bit different of a story. Like it seems more focused on uh the interpreter side.
Yeah.
Obviously with the help of
Right.
Jake Gyllenhaal's character, but I think that maybe might be enough to just kind of separate from that potential I guess negative viewpoint. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. When does this movie come out, Taylor?
It's supposed to be coming out in April 21st.
April 21st. Man, that's quick. Especially since we just now are seeing the trailer.
Yeah.
The first trailer.
Did watching this trailer give you some Lone Survivor
Very much
vibes?
so. Yeah, very much so. There's a lot of shots of like there's a couple aerial shots of guys like moving through bushes and trees. And I was like, man, that's very
Yeah,
very Lone
and just
Survivor-ish.
seeing him like walking down the
Yeah.
mountain and stuff.
Very much so. And I will say there was a few things that kind of stood out to me like legitimacy wise, like the camo that the colonel was wearing. It looked like multicam, but it was a weird like version of multicam to me. Like it's very saturated.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the uniform. It might have been like their effects or whatever they're applying to it. That definitely
It
caught
looks
my eye
weird.
too.
Yeah. All right.
Like there's a difference between uniforms that we wear stateside and
Right.
when we're deployed.
Overtime.
What he looked like he was wearing like a garrison uniform,
Yeah.
but in Afghanistan,
which is weird.
is very different because of the material and stuff.
Right. It's meant to be a little bit thinner and more breathable.
Yeah, and like fire retardant and
Yeah.
stuff.
All right. Well, I'm interested. I definitely will be watching this movie when it comes out. Ladies and gentlemen, we're curious to know what you guys think about this, and maybe you guys can shed some light on the question that I posed are you interested in watching this movie, or are you just over the whole war in the Middle East thing and want to move past it? So let us know what you guys think. Appreciate you guys being here. We got another trailer reaction for you guys coming on Friday, so stay tuned and look out for that. Yeah. Like, subscribe, comment, share with a friend. Check out our social media links down in the description below, as well as the other shows here on Any Kine Media, and we will catch you guys in the next episode.
Bye, guys.